You see, there are still faint glimmers of civilization left in this barbaric slaughterhouse that was once known as humanity. Indeed, that's what we provide in our own modest, humble, insignificant... No, fuck it.
The Grand Budapest is one of my favorite Wes Anderson's films. It truly blows up my mind and lures me to rewatch it multiple times in a year, even until today. It portrays the colorful, symmetric fairy tale-like world in Wes Anderson's eyes. It creates faint glimmers of civilization in the characters that are known as humanity. It hides deep the director's nostalgia and admiration for the once marvelous and picturesque but long-gone world under a story of hilarious murder. The Grand Budapest Hotel is a story within a story within a story. A teenage girl with a dog-eared novel called The Grand Budapest stands facing a tarnished bust of an old man, who is the author of this book. He once heard the story of the owner of the Grand Budapest, where the owner worked as a lobby boy at a young age and made his great master and the beloved concierge of the Grand Budapest Hotel. The name is Mr. Gustav H. Now, let's move into Mr. Gustav's world, because this is where the story really begins.
Bring the table to the window.
Yes, Mr. Gustav.
Bring the tray to the table.
Right away, Mr. Gustav.
Mr. Gustav is a tall, blonde, 40-year-old concierge who runs the daily operations with seemingly omniscient attention to detail, unimpeachably exquisite taste, and witty judgment.
I love you.
I love you.
Abfahren!
His excellent service glorifies the hotel, and most distinguished guests come for him. Madame D is one of them. She's an old and rich woman whose children are deceitful and selfish. This Miss Old Lonely Heart turns to Mr. Gustav for comfort for 19 consecutive years. One day, as Madame D is leaving for home, she had a premonition that she will be killed, which has unfortunately come true. Mr. Gustav and Zero, his lobby boy, decide to take the train to pay their respects to this old lady. At the congregation, they are surprised to hear Madame D bequeath Mr. Gustav a priceless painting. Madame D's family is infuriated at this and hostile to their rival. However, with the secret help of Serge, one of the butlers, Mr. Gustav and Zero leave with this wrapped masterpiece safely. On the second day at Grand Budapest Hotel, police officers come to arrest Mr. Gustav for murdering Madame D, which is a conspiracy obviously, but Mr. Gustav is still unfortunately sent to jail. Later, Mr. Gustav successfully escapes the jail and goes on a hilarious quest with Zero to clear the name with the special help of the so-called Society of Crossed Keys, a union of all first-class hotels. Then, another secret finally comes to the surface. Madame D leaves the second will that will be executed only in the event of her death by murder. She leaves everything to Mr. Gustav, so he becomes rich, but he did not succeed in growing old. The second time where the train stops for an identity check, Mr. Gustav fails to protect Zero and confronts the troops who shot him brutally in the end. All the wealth and estate go to Zero, the lobby boy, who tells the story to the author of this book, The Grand Budapest Hotel, which is read by the teenage girl in the beginning. Beyond the murder story on the surface, there are political layers added to the society that Wes Anderson invented. The film is set against the backdrop of the Nazi invading Central Europe. It is inspired by the life and work of one of the most translated authors, Stefan Zweig, who was born to a Jewish family in Vienna. After Hitler rose to power, Zweig left Austria for England, New York, and eventually Brazil. In 1942, after years of exile, he knows that the marvelous world has gone for good, so he relinquished his hold on the will to live. In the film, the character, Mr. Gustav H., is modeled significantly on Zweig. His seemingly omniscient attention to detail, refined taste, and tactful judgment reflect the vision of the long-gone Europe that Zweig aspired to. However, the Nazi, also identified as Double Z in the film, obliterates the legacy of the early world, from using the Grand Budapest Hotel as a troops barrack, beating up the unarmed immigrant lobby boy Zero, to brutally shooting our beloved Mr. Gustav. They destroy everything. Anderson buries that world that was once invested in aesthetics, in beauty, in civilized tolerance deep in this fictional story that takes place under the Grand Budapest Hotel. The film is about the spiritual heritage and substance of Europe's long-vanished illusion of elegance. Anderson said, "It can deepen the fantasy of the film if there are political layers added to the film. Personally, I found this to be very much the case." Like any of Anderson's work, the Grand Budapest also stuns visually. It is flawless. Every shot, every set, and every little detail is made with delicate and intricate designs. His choices of color palettes beautify and sustain the illusion of early Europe and instill a sense of nostalgia for that vanished world. Symmetric shots as usual keep each scene clean, light, and calm, like a drawing on the paper where the events are happening, which is also the unique film aesthetics Anderson's known for. Let's take a little more appreciation of his uniquely symmetric scenes here. Besides from all these visually stunning shots, one of the scenes I'm most impressed with is how the so-called Society of the Crossed Keys helps Mr. Gustav and Zero escape the chase by circling with different hotels through calls. Starting with Monsieur Ivan at Excelsior Palace, who is helping the guests at the reception desk, and his lobby boy takes him over while he needs to make a call to Monsieur George at Chateau Lux, who is conducting a birthday song, and his lobby boy takes him over while he makes another call to Monsieur Dino at Palazzo Principessa, who is yelling orders with an axe in his hand.
Fire!
And again, his lobby boy replaces him
Fire!
while he needs to make a call to Monsieur Robin at Hotel Cat du Cap, who is doing artificial respiration for a tennis player, and his lobby boy takes him over while he makes another call to Monsieur Martin at Ritz Imperial,
Too much salt.
who is tasting and evaluating food, and his lobby boy replaces him
Too much salt.
while he needs to, make a few more calls, but let's just stop there. With a few imaginative cuts, the idea and the role of Society of the Crossed Keys have been articulated, reinforcing its unity in the society while adding a slice of hilarity. The film is narrated with flashbacks from the current days to 1985, 1968, and ultimately to 1932. Mr. Gustav represents the gold standard of concierge and is meticulous at work, and has a great taste for poems and finer things.
Reminded of a verse. The painter's brush touched the inchoate face by ends of nimble bristles, and with that blush of first colour rendered her lifeless cheek living.
His humility and excellent service leads him to stumble upon the officer who expels Zero from punishment. In prison, he pushes a metal cart with plates and mush every morning to serve breakfast. He comments on the artistic aspect of the map his inmates drew for escaping jail.
Who drew this?
What do you mean, who drew this? I did.
Very good. You've got a wonderful line, Ludwig. This shows great artistic promise.
And he's not perfect. He serves old rich ladies and has affairs with all of them, and he's very open about it.
I go to bed with all my friends.
He inherits Madame D's wealth, but no matter what he does and where he is, he's still the same Mr. Gustav. And meticulous, critical, funny, a little eccentric, but more than that, he has a warm heart that gives up his life for his lobby boy Zero. I would rate this film 9.5 out of 10. This is my another film diary. Do you like this film? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching.